world have been closed because of COVID-19 pandemic. More than 1 billion students have had their education has put a new challenge and a new role in their children's day-to-day learning. Like we people who were not giving, smartphones to their kids, like we are ourselves handing over them the smartphone so that, they can continue, with their school, colleges, and university administrators, and especially teachers. They're also finding themselves in these uncharted waters. So right now we are all in difficult as well as teachers has completely halted. But again, there's a light of hope. There's a ray of hope, which is online learning or online teaching, which is actually helping these days students as well as teachers for their interaction, for their communication, so that they can interact and they can share whatever they have. So the topic on which I'm going to speak today is online learning, opportunities and challenges during COVID-19. Now, moving with the presentation outline. Let me, move to full screen mode. Yeah. So that's the presentation outline. What we are going to discuss. And we'll be starting with introduction to online teaching and learning, then various tools and techniques, then practices to be followed, moving then to various opportunities which are available in online learning, challenges, then a new shift, new paradigm, blended learning, and various solutions which are provided by UNESCO for online teaching as well as learning. With the introduction to online teaching and learning processes, they are inseparable from each other. If we are talking of online teaching, it means we are talking of online learning as well. They are two inseparable processes. And this online learning is the newest and the most popular form of distance education, which is available these days. In the current era. And this form of learning as well. Fine. And this online teaching and learning is one type of distance learning. Fine. It's an umbrella term which is used for any education that takes place across distance and not in a traditional classroom. Right now, like this webinar is conducted online, and we people are sitting at distance and far off places. And this is only because of various tools and techniques which are available for this online learning technology, online learning technique. And this is actually one of the distance education learning, techniques. Now, various available types of distance learning, distance education and learning, they are. Various categories of distance education and learning, they are. Number one is regular where content was delivered by radio or TV broadcast. Like if you remember, like these days also there are few TV channels which are broadcasting on sciences, engineering, various programs, various television programs in sciences and engineering. Like history. Earlier, when I was a kid, I used to watch UGC countrywide classroom, which was especially, catered to tackle the needs of the students who were preparing for UGC NET or UGC exam, or postgraduate or graduate students in science. Then CD-COM courses are there, in which students, they interact with static computer content, and there's no activity. Students are just provided with CD-ROMs, with courses, with course contents, and students can read that content and just understand it on their own. It's unsupervised, and it's what students are doing their own. There's no supervision. There's no activity actually. Then technique on which we are going to focus today is online teaching and learning, which is internet-based learning, which can be performed in synchronous as well as asynchronous mode. And this means we are offering to students, or students are participating in various internet-based courses in active manner or in a manner. Like guys there these days, which is providing lots and lots of courses these days free of cost, even in this hard phase of COVID-19. Even Coursera was earlier offering so many certified courses in so many areas. Fine, that is in asynchronous mode. I mean, courses are offered to you, and you are actually in this case online learning or in distance education learning is mobile learning, which is actually performed via mobile, PDA, digital audio players, I mean iPhones or MP3 players also. And by far, the most popular technique or most popular approach, which is available in this particular case, is online teaching or learning, which is the need of an hour and which has provided each and every type of facility, each and every type of opportunity to the students, as well as teachers, as well as instructors in this hard time. Screen, yes. Now, online teaching and learning, it's actually a new paradigm for teaching and learning. It's a new pedagogical shift in how we can teach and learn, in how we can, learn and in how we can teach. Now, how this has shifted the paradigm. I mean, how paradigm shift has occurred, how this has, brought a new transformation, how this metamorphosis has come. Actually, earlier, the technique which was followed was the top-down lecturing and passive approach. I mean, teachers were following down lecturing and passive approach. And now shift is from this top-down lecturing and passive approach to more interactive and collaborative approach in which students and instructors, they co-create the teaching learning process. And instructor's role, which was only the guide on the side initially, fine, which was only the sage on the stage initially. Now it has changed to the guide on the side in which instructor is actually participating and students are actively participating as well. Students are more active. Now, the key concept on which this online teaching learning is based, on which this paradigm is based, is the concept of constructivism, and collaboration. Now, what are these concepts actually? The first concept is the concept of constructivism. I mean, which actually is responsible for the shift in paradigm, which actually is responsible for bringing up this metamorphosis and change. Now, constructivism is basically maintaining maintaining the phase or maintaining the environment in which people actively construct new knowledge as they interact with the environment. Actively constructing new knowledge, people are actually participating or interacting with the environment. And in this approach, which right now, or this online learning approach, which we are preferring, is student-centered approach, which empowers them from passive recipients to active learners. These days, we assume that students are active learners rather than being, passive participants, which they earlier were. This face-to-face interaction, offline classroom teaching, I feel that's heart and soul of this teaching process. But a few situations, there are few circumstances when the teaching, I mean, offline teaching, this face-to-face interaction, this personal grooming is not possible. Still, we are hopeful with this paradigm, which has actually, again, few of the students who were actually not able to participate fully in the class, they can, and they are participating. Now, emphasis of constructivism in online teaching learning paradigm is first of all on learner, because learner is considered as a unique individual. And the relevance of the learner's background and culture, then increased responsibilities of the student for learning belongs to students. I mean, now online student is actively participating in student is learning as well. Then motivation for learning comes from the successful completion of challenging tasks. Then there were no more, which were earlier like considered as dictators, now they'll be considered as facilitators who will be helping learners develop their own understanding of content. And learning more or less will become an active social process, which will be aiding students in acquiring knowledge. Main, what do you call, crux is synergy. That is the dynamic interaction which is actually existing between the task, instructor, and the learner. The concept is constructivism. Constructivism basically asserts that learning is particularly effective when we are constructing something for others to experience. Fine. And this can be something ranging from a small spoken sentence to an internet post or to a very complex things like painting or a presentation. For example, sometimes we read a page number of times, numerous times, and we still forget, it by tomorrow. Fine. But if we are asked actually to explain the ideas to someone in our own words, if you're asked to explain to someone what we have seen in our own words, the content of the page we may forget, fine. But if we are asked someone to explain what we have what we have acquired from a particular slideshow, fine, from a particular interaction which was being held, then constructivism actually means that we gain a deeper understanding, fine, which is more integrated into our own ideas, and which actually is one of the paradigm shifts, which in this online teaching and learning process. Then moving next is collaboration. As an instructor, normally we focus on our experience that we have, best generated learning from our learner's point of view, our learner's perception, rather than just publishing and assessing the information which we think that, okay, need to know or the students need to know. Now, collaboration asserts that each participant in the course should be teacher as well as learner. And the learner's role is not being, being sole source of knowledge. Learner, a guide, moderator, facilitator, and a role model. We can connect with students in a number of ways. So we can address their learning, or we can cater their learning needs by moderating discussions, moderating activities, group tasks in such a manner that it leads to the students towards, broader and larger learning goals in a class. Now, what are various benefits of online teaching and learning? What are, various advantages of online learning and teaching? Now, some requirement before I move to this online learning and teaching benefits. The minimum requirement for this, for any online learning course or any online learning approach or any online learning technique is, students should have access to devices, can be a smartphone, preferably a computer or a tablet, something which is motivation. Any student who wants to learn in an online manner should be possessing with a certain amount of motivation that he or she wants to succeed in this non-traditional type of learning, which is, more or less not a classroom learning. This is like student actually should be motivated. If student wants to learn in an online manner, whether it's asynchronous or synchronous, then student motivation should be there that, okay, student wants to succeed. No doubt, this online learning actually provides an excellent by course delivery, which is unbound by time or location. Irrespective of the geographical location of the student, irrespective of the time, like student wants to join the classroom, fine. And student is provided with lots and lots of convenience, which is the first benefit, that online teaching is so convenient that it provides anyone 24 across 7 cross 365 access from online computer to accommodate this. There's no need to commute. There's no need to, talking if students are going to university of students, lots and lots of students are there. It's a huge strength of students, and students need to actually look for the student needs to, then from starting to pass, again, time is required. That time lag. I mean, we do not need to worry about this. The benefit is enhanced learning. Research in this online learning and teaching approach, the increased depth of understanding and retention of course content while students are learning in online manner. More meaningful discussions are there, more emphasis on writing skills, technology skills, and life skills like time management, independence, and self-discipline are there because inner motivation is there. Then moving next, leveling of the playing field, which I consider is a very important factor. Students can take more time to think and they can communicate. Whereas in the class, sometimes at the spot, on the spot, we are asking students questions, and shy to they whether they should reply or not. But in this particular case, shy students, they tend to thrive online, fine, because they can take the advantage of the anonymity of online environment. Then interaction has been improved. Like being teacher to student and student to teacher interaction and discussion, fine. And yes, increase teacher to student and student to teacher interaction and discussion. And this learning is more student centered, fine. And yeah, learning environment is more student centered because less passive type of listening is there and more active type of learning takes place. Right? And greater sense of connectedness is felt between a teacher and a student, and greater sense of synergy, which is dynamic interaction, is being felt. Then innovative learning. Innovative learning approaches, increased variety and creativity of learning activities have been taking place because of this online learning. Because teaching has become more or less more innovative, fine. And teachers, they can address different learning styles for different types of students, and they can make more changes and improvements, and they can translate to on-ground courses as well. Improved administration of courses. Teachers get more time to examine student work in a more thorough manner. They are able to document and record online interactions. They can manage grading online as well. Then is savings. More number of students can be accommodated in a single class with higher student capability, and fewer repeats will be there. Then moving online learning has lessened the demand of limited campus infrastructure. Now we do not require huge infrastructure to tackle, classrooms, tackle students with large strength. To tackle number of students, large number of students in the same classroom. We do not need to make sections, more student intake, and decreased congestion on parking. Outreach advantage. Well, it is not, it can be considered as last but not least. There are hundreds of benefits, hundreds of advantages and teaching approach. Outreach actually appeal to students as increasing in tools and what I'm going to discuss next subtopic, which I'm going to discuss, is tools and techniques which can be used for online learning. Now, online teaching and learning modes, they can be categorized as synchronous learning and teaching mode and asynchronous learning and teaching. Synchronous learning and teaching mode means, synchronous online, that instructor and student participate in learning activities at the same time. Like right now, we are in synchronous mode. This mode is more dynamic in nature and hence offers high fidelity learning. Now, both second technique is asynchronous online education mode or online learning mode. Now, in this particular type, education. Instructor and students participate in learning activities at different times. Instructor can record his video lectures and can float them on internet and can put them on YouTube using any social media or put them on Google Classroom. Right? Now this way is static in nature. This way of education is static in nature, but it's less time constraining at the same time because there's no time constraint. That like students and teachers, they need to be present at the same time. They need to be online at the same time. They need to be aired at the same time. But also it offers flexible access to teaching materials, a time to reflect rather than react, and cost-effective technology. Now, this asynchronous learning teaching mode, fine, its concept is based upon 3 V's, which is video, voice, and virtual team collaboration. Now, clearly, these two modes, they share, like both are using internet, fine. Both are using, online resources. Both are traditional correspondence courses, fine. But we'll be focusing more on synchronous online teaching learning techniques or online teaching learning approach because interaction is key to synchronous online teaching learning mode.
Are doing well and are at home and safe.
Now, moving next, the first type of tools and techniques. First set of tools and techniques which can online learning and teaching mode is course management system. CMS.
Hello
CMS
guys,
is the short form of course management system.
All of you are well and are.
Am I audible? Actually, there's so many voices.
So, are you all liking the session?
Audible?
Yes, ma'am. You're in
all liking the session. Are you enjoying?
All the participants are requested to please keep their mics off.
I'm Suhani, the host for.
Participants are requested to please keep their mics off. Suhani, I think your mic is on.
Suhani, तो अभी आपने 2 performances देखी.
Can I start?
Yes, ma'am.
So guys, I'm Suhani.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, you can start.
Now, moving next to tools and techniques which have to be used for online. The first central idea behind this online learning or teaching is the course management system, which has to be developed for effective online teaching and learning. CMS is actually one of the most popular softwares and techniques which are utilized, which is utilized by many educational institutes these days, like big universities like Oxford, Massachusetts, then Stanford, Windsor in Canada. All of them, they have their own CMS. They're using their own CMS so that interactive online learning and teaching is possible. Now, what's the basic purpose of CMS? The basic purpose of CMS is that it allows instructors to design and deliver their courses within a flexible framework that includes different number of tools to enable learning and communication to occur. For example, just a second. Yeah. For example, full-fledged course management systems, they have been developed by, very good and reputed universities, so that instructors can adapt their courses before they start teaching, before the education begins, before learning and teaching process begins. Right? And the functionality which is offered by CMS, it not only includes delivering the course content, but includes actually how, communication is possible, how effective communication is possible between the student and the teacher, between the learner and the instructor, and how evaluation of course content and assignment. Features of CMS, they include scheduling system. So we can post and review the deadlines. There is announcements which can be posted for students to provide the information related to courses. The content of the syllabus, course content, that is the syllabus. Then there is modules which can be used to publish and view course content in the form of sections. And syllabus can be divided into learning modules. So learning modules can be, communicated. Then assignments. After
Hello. I think there is some network problem at our expert site, so we will be back in another minute.
Is written from, again, we can use a course management system for performing tests and quizzes so that instructor can also grade in order to get course management. Various examples of course management systems which have been very popular till date, they are e-college, WebCT, Blackboard. It will be learning management. PMS is superset of learning LMS, and LMS, so on the contrary, becomes the subset. LMS is basically a software which provides a framework through which learning content is delivered to the students, and learning content is managed at the level of teacher as well. Now, learning content, what it can include? It can include, of course, videos, courses, it can include documents, it can include graphics, it can include audio, right? And this learning content basically can be used to train individuals in university, at university level, I mean in education sector, that is in higher education sector, and in corporate sector as well. And in, this can be, further executed, exercised in both the modes, I mean in synchronous as well as asynchronous mode, depending upon the availability of the instructor and the student. Now, various features of learning management system, they include management of courses, users, and roles. Instructor can add, like I was telling you, what type of learning content can be managed. Learning content which instructor can deliver to the students can be text, images, audio, tables, links, interactive tests, slideshows, videos, fine. And the content which a student can access can be controlled. I mean, privileges can be assigned to students as well as teachers, like what content a teacher is to say. Courses and modules. Like in Google Classroom, we can have multiple virtual classrooms which can be created at the same time. We can have multiple modules, bifurcated under different classrooms in which we can enroll students, or students can, self-enroll themselves. We are only sharing the code. We can see reports on the students, and or we can import the students from some CSV file to their online classes. Then tracking of the attendance of the students, uh, mice tests for students which can be accessible and submitted online by using different features of learning management system, can be created by instructors, and students can participate in those tests. Students can perform those tests, and their performance can be tracked, their performance can be evaluated. Various types of questions using these online assessment features of LMS, like MCQs can be there, drag and drop orders can be there, essay type questions, true false, collapse, agreement scales, and various other offline tasks. This also allows, like I was saying, for there are various attendance plugins available which can save the time of the class, and students can integrate in a perfect manner with classroom teaching. There user feedback. Students can exchange feedback of their teachers, or I mean, both with the teachers and their peers through LMS. And by, going through the feedback, instructors can improve their work and course content. One example, which all of us, I guess, we are using is Google Classroom. And Google Classroom is actually a free web service which is developed by Google, and all the instructors, they're using it by using G Suite, which is offered by Google. And by using Google Classrooms, instructors can create classes, they can distribute assignments, they can grade and send feedback as well in a very interactive manner under a single platform. So it can, it integrates, Google Classroom integrates various features like documents, sheets, slides, Gmail, calendar, which can be managing instructor and student communication in an effective manner. Google Classroom also streamlines all repetitive tasks, and it makes easy to focus on what teachers do the best, which is teaching. I mean, teachers can only focus on teaching process, and students can only focus on learning process, which actually is, more. So students and instructors, they can sign in from any mobile device to access the study materials, class assignments, and different type of mobile devices like Android-based mobile devices, Windows-based mobile devices. Uh, they are compatible with all the features which have been offered by G Suite. I mean, Google Classroom is compatible with all of them. And for many schools and higher educational institutes, Google Classroom is provided for free, and it meets very high set of security standards as well. It helps classes communicate, save time, and stay organized. And the teaching learning process becomes more productive, be ensured by saying and distributing assignments by saving the time, by boosting the collaboration between students and their peers and students and their teachers, by fostering the communication. Teachers can improve the course content and the way of teaching, and they can improve themselves in a better manner. Now, Google Classroom, it seamlessly integrates with other Google tools in G Suite like Google Drive, Google Documents, Slides, Forms, Jamboard, Meet, Drive, even Google Art and Culture, right? I mean, it saves lots and lots of time, thus helping instructors and students to stay organized. And most importantly, save time, and focusing can be only on learning or teaching. An interface, Google Classroom. I hope all of you must have seen this. I just created for my BTech first year classroom. You can see class code is visible on the screen. This class code can be shared amongst the students via any means of communication. You can WhatsApp this class code, and students can install Google Classroom via Play Store or App Store on their mobile devices. And by filling in this code, students can join this classroom, and teachers can post anything, any course material via this classroom. They can students as well. I mean, how many number of students are enrolled in the classroom, that can be actually managed through this people tab. And if we want to interface this Google Classroom with Google Meet, it just takes a click of the mouse, and that link automatically gets reflected in Google Classroom of the students as well. And students can immediately join the Google Meet whenever you want to interact with them in an online manner without any wastage of time. Another very popular tool in technique, or another very popular learning management system, which is available. This is Moodle. Moodle is an open source learning management system, come course management, which has been very popular these days. And it has been, I mean, this on so many tools. Students, they have tried hand on so many tools, but few of the tools, they have, been very successful. all over the world for online learning and online teaching classes because of the features. Are one of them. Now, Moodle is an open source LMS, as I've already explained, and it's designed to provide instructors, administrators, and learners with a robust and integrated system to create personalized learning environments. And it's considered as one of the world's most popular learning management systems. Various features of Moodle they are. The interface provided by Moodle is very modern, very interactive, and it's very, very easy to use. Personalized dashboard is available for communication between students and teachers. It enhances collaboration amongst teachers and students by providing various tools and activities. One calendar feature or facility is available. Then convenient file management is provided by Moodle. Feature. Then the site design of the Moodle and the layout can be customized as per the needs of the instructor. It's very, very secure. It meets a very high set of security standards. Secure authentication is provided by Moodle, and students can self-enroll by their own, and hence mass enrollment is possible. Multilingual capability is there. I mean, it's available in multiple. It's available for multi-language. Of multilingual students and Russian platform is there. Chinese Moodle platform is there. French platform is there. User roles and permissions, they can be managed very well by assigning different set of privileges. As it is open source, so support of open standards is there. Interoperability between different classrooms, between different devices or different platforms is possible because of Moodle. Security standards are high, as I've already explained. Moodle is responsible for encouraging collaboration between a teacher and student groups. And group management is very effectively possible. That's the interface of Moodle. See, we whatever courses we have placed under Moodle, they are course overview is available, dashboard is available, and a very, very interactive platform is available from Moodle side for grading the assignments, for for delivering the course content as well. And Moodle can be very interfaced with any of the meeting platforms like Zoom, Cisco WebEx. Now, other tools which can be used for online learning and teaching, though they are not very popular, but they can be considered, for, for different education. They can, because at school level, learning management system or course management system can be using this tool. At higher education level, we may be using another tool. At in corporate sector, we may be using something else. So Canva, moving next, Canva is one of the tools which can be used for online learning process. It's a brilliant graphics tool which can be used to create educational visuals and infographics for the classroom. This is basically used for those classrooms where students are learning something related to graphics designing, something related to animation, and for maybe sometimes if we are teaching a student who can learn more by using graphical aids, more by learning educational visuals, then Canva can be used. To transfer large files between your colleagues, amongst your colleagues and students, and so that your ideas keep on moving, we can use WeTransfer. For social networking, we can use Taglo. Taglo is basically designed specifically for instructors, which offers them an exclusive space to seek advice and support, to share the knowledge and remain motivated. Because this space has demotivated teachers and students. Students have become highly demotivated because it's not easy to sit home and learn from computer all the time. They need, in order to get groomed, in order to get, firstly groomed, in order to grow, they need face-to-face interaction with their students, with the peers, as well as their instructors. Another tool is Calendly. Calendly is a free calendar booking app. It's just like Google Calendar or Moodle Calendar. And Calendly can integrate our calendar, and it can ensure that no two meetings clash. I mean, it can schedule our meetings. It can help us save time with parent-teacher meetings or appointments. Then Admodo is one of the tools, which is basically a global education network, and it helps in connecting us with fellow teachers and students. It helps in collaborating students in groups, administrate them. I mean, with the help of Admodo, we can provide course content, I mean, educational material. We can evaluate the performance of the students, and at the same time, we can communicate with the parents in order to create a more personalized and enriching learning experience for both students and teachers. Admodo is one of the popular tools which has been used in Canada as well as the US. I mean, developed countries, they're using it. Even Europe, Admodo is considered as a very popular tool. Then is ClassDojo. ClassDojo is again an open source and free school communications platform, which students, teachers, and parents can use every day to build close-knit communities by sharing what's being learned in the classroom through home photos, videos, and announcements. Schoology. It's an award-winning LMS which offers teachers to create a private social network for their students, parents, and colleagues. Then we have a Storybird, which promotes storytelling and boosts student writing skills. If students, they are into creative writing, they're into mass communication, and we want some interactive and artistic learning sessions online, then Storybird is one of the very good choices, right? Which offers a very simple and easy to use interface to students as well as instructors uh, in order to enhance and boost up students' creative skills. Class 123 is a free classroom management tool which has been loved by millions. It offers a number of handy gadgets and features including a seating chart, timer, chalkboard, poll tracker, random picker, offering uh, environment and effective learning process. Then is Dropbox.
So, dear participants, I think there is some network problem at experts end. So she might be back in another minute. So please have patience for a few minutes.
कर रही हूँ, मैंने किया है कनेक्ट, अभी देखिए शायद Hello, am I audible?
Yes, madam. Dr. Harjot, you are very much audible.
पीपीटी शेयर नहीं हुई, मैंने की तो है, फिर से करती हूँ मैं। सेकंड शेयर।
Yes, madam. Are you
Okay.
please? Yes, yes.
Okay, I guess propagation delay, little bit. हाँ जी, now it's visible. Yeah, let me move to full screen mode. I'm audible, everyone. So, various
Yes, ma'am,
practices.
you're quite audible, ma'am. Yes.
And is the voice clear? It's better than before, maybe.
Yes, it is clear now.
Yeah. So various practices which are to be followed in online learning process, they are: number one, learners and instructors, they must be present at the course site. I mean, they should be there at the time when this online teaching or learning process is going on. And so that, I mean, learner can interactively interact in this online learning mode. And this classroom develops as online learning community. Intellectual and personal bonds, they are developed. Second is creating a supportive online course community. I mean, whenever instructor is teaching and learner is, learning, they should be always creating online, supportive online course community. This learning process takes place, or via which this teaching process takes place, right? Which can be, in the form of creating video or audio podcasts, weekly coaching and reminder announcements, fine, small interactions, group discussions with the students. Okay. Now, moving next, we should, instructors in this particular case, they should share a very clear set of expectations for the students and for ourselves. As it like how we are going to deliver our lectures, how we are going to communicate with the students, how we are going to interact with the students, fine. How much time students will be working on each course per week. And moving next, we should try to use variety of large group, small group, and individual work experiences. If, facilitate this learning and learning teaching process. So that courses, they are more enjoyable and they are more effective. Fine. When students, they get more opportunity to brainstorm and work through concepts and assignments with their fellow students, with their peers, and with the instructors as well. And there should be teamwork as far as it's possible. And working in teams will be very, very effective when the students are working on complex case studies or scenarios in the case of online learning process. Both synchronous and asynchronous modes of learning and activities, they can be used whenever we are performing online learning and online teaching process. And various course management software, various types of virtual classrooms, they can be used so that it's possible to interact with students in an effective manner, the way we were doing that using traditional classes. We can ask students for an informal approach upon how the course is going on, how they have found the course content, and whether they have any suggestions. Fine. That also periodically after regular intervals during the course is going on, during the learning process is going on, not after the course finished. Then next, we should be preparing discussion posts that should be inviting more of questions, discussions, reflections, and responses from the students. Because discussions in an online course is an equivalent of classroom discussions, face-to-face class. There is a difference, because in the case of classroom class, discussions are always synchronous. Fine. They do not provide any time for thought and reflection, whereas in the case of online learning, still students, they get time to express themselves. Fine. The discussions become more or less asynchronous. Now, discussions, they may be designed for any of the purposes, like we can provide students with an open question and answer form. We can encourage critical or creative thinking. We can encourage students to have critical and creative thinking. We can reinforce domain or procedural processes. Fine. Students can achieve more of social interaction and community building. Students can validate their experiences. Students can be supported in terms of their reflections and in terms of inquiries in a better manner. Then moving next is we can focus more upon course content, course resources, content resources, and applications rather than what we want to teach, and rather than what has happened in the past. We can focus on present. We can focus on content resources, applications by linking them to current events and examples that can be easily accessed from learner computers. Next, core concept learning can be combined with customized and personalized learning in the case of online learning process. Then we can plan a good closing and wrap activity for the course when we are going to conclude with the course, when we finish with the course, fine, when course becomes closer to conclusion, so that students have good experience of this online learning process, and students are not likely to get stressed. Fine. They find a very comfortable type of atmosphere, a comfortable type of environment. Fine. In addition to that, we should remind students, okay, they should continue with other such type of activities in future as well. Now, what are various techniques which can be used for online teaching? First is classroom flipping, which is one of the pedagogical approaches, which inverts a traditional classroom learning model in which we are not like doing that, okay, classwork is done in class. I mean, we are solving few of the problems in class, and rest, is given to the students to perform at home. Classroom flipping is inverting the traditional classroom learning approach, in which classroom is done at home and homework is done in class. We in advance give a topic to students to prepare them so that they actually get well versed with that topic. They often do a large amount of research in that topic. They study that topic in depth. They gain more functional understanding of that concept. Fine. And later on, good amount of discussion can be done upon that topic in the class. So that's classroom keeping. Okay, the class time dedicating to discussing the topic so that students are planning, they're getting more core concepts, or they are getting more, they become more, they become more, what we can say that their foundation related to that topic is formed in the case of students. Now, in this particular case, introduction will be provided to learners or students before they are attending the class. Will be students with presentations, with course materials before this topic has to be discussed in the class. And class time can be only used to discuss that topic, share the ideas, so that students can interact in a dynamic learning environment. I guess this is, again, a new change in traditional classroom teaching, because this is targeted more towards the role of the learners than towards the teachers, because learners are encouraged to develop deeper into the lesson. They can pose more of the questions. They can share their own unique interpretations, what they have interpreted out of the topic. Then mind mapping. Mind mapping is probably one of the best online teaching techniques, which is implemented for visual learners within a group. Students or learners, they use the technique of mind map, which is a diagram of related ideas and concepts that can be used for studying, which is a way of organizing information or even a springboard for writing and assignment. Various mind mapping softwares are available, which students can use for this online learning process. Fine. Whatever ideas students have, whatever concepts students have for a particular topic, corresponding to that, students can prepare a mind map. Mind map is the way what you have learned, what you have gained out of a particular concept. Mind also helps instructors in structuring classroom discussions, classifying ideas, and gradually bringing learners to the central idea of the concept. It uncomplicates complex concepts and issues. It's ideal for making connections between ideas and concepts. What students have got out of a concept? What are students' ideas related to that particular concept? Mind map can be used. Mind map can be used for planning out projects and written assignments. Mind map can lead to better understanding of the learning material which has been provided to the students. And it is, according to me, it is one of the best online learning techniques, which visual learners can use. And self-learning. Self-learning is the concept in which students are encouraged to explore certain subject matter on their own. And they decide what concepts are more relevant or more important to their own interest. It's not the same as self-paced learning, because in this particular case, self-learning is constrained with specific time limits. In the case of self-paced learning, specific time limits are not involved. There are no time constraint, but in the case of self-learning, time constraint is given to the students, and students are supposed to explore the subject matter in that particular amount of time. Students can explore their own areas of interest while still controlling the overall setting for the learning process. Fine. And they enjoy more autonomy while learning, which actually these days students want. They can explore their own areas of the interest according to the concepts which they want to learn. Then they can report back to the class with their own findings related to that topic, with their own ideas related to that topic, thus helping them achieve a more rounded understanding of the concept as a whole. Moving next is instructional design, which actually recognizes that no one size fits all. I mean, one technique cannot be used successfully to teach all type of students. So instructional design is a teaching technique that refers to designing our own classroom around learners' unique backgrounds and instructor goals. Every learner has unique learning capability, have different type of learning, have different type of mind map. Fine. So instructional design focuses on learners. I mean, what actually their understanding of or their current understanding of the subject matter. I mean, it focuses on different learning styles corresponding to different type of learners, different types of students, because every student has a different type of a different level of understanding of the topic. So instructional design is not restricted to use in on-site settings, but it's equally important when they have unique background, different set of experiences to the table. This will be leading more to the discussion which students actually have gained out of different topics. Then is adaptive learning. Adaptive learning involves utilizing computers and other technologies such as viable teaching devices. Fine, but like learning from a particular, for some students, they may find learning from video more effective. Some students may find better participating through online discussion forums. So learners will try to perform, adaptive learning or adaptive teaching techniques according to the needs of the learners. So this adaptive learning technique basically is responsible for transforming each student from a passive receptor of information into a willing and active participant of online class. Different mediums can be used for introducing new concepts and lessons. In the case of adaptive learning, we can use video. I mean, if students are comfortable with video, text, visual, graphics, I mean, whatever students they feel like. So how is this online learning or teaching is an opportunity for some, and how online teaching learning is challenge for some? So how it's an opportunity. Opportunity in the sense greater flexibility is there, fine, because learners and instructors, they are provided with greater flexibility to address various learning styles. Like I've explained, we can use different and new novel learning styles and different technologies they can be used in order to perform the teaching learning process in an effective manner. It encourages participation from the students who may not actively participate in traditional classroom settings. Instructors who can teach online, they also have resources at their fingertips in order to make more online classrooms, more interesting and engaging. Like online learners, online teachers, they also enjoy the flexibility and convenience of the medium. They can teach from the comfort of their own homes by staying safe. They do not need to be present at a specific place at a specific time to interact with the students. Even students, they are staying safe because of the same as well. But online instructors, they need to keep in mind that active learning, adaptive and adaptive learning is one of the keys to success in online classrooms. They need to employ new techniques, new approaches, new technologies to ensure that the course content is interesting and the courses are making best use of the online medium which is available. Now, teaching is providing opportunities to access and share information more easily and more readily. Students are able to join online communities of practice based upon their ideas of interest rather than their geographic location. I mean, maybe they are sitting at far off places. Still, they are able to join online communities of practice. It also provides a mechanism of equal opportunity among students and teachers which are living with disability or who have existing difficulties that restrict their ability to attend a face-to-face class. I mean, God forbid if someone suffers from an accident, someone is having some other problem. If he or she cannot, join face-to-face class, he or she can interact with his instructor via online class. Now, online learning process, it enhances the learning experience of the students by providing opportunities for cross-disciplinary, cross-cultural, or cross-campus collaborations. Like students these days, in addition to, as they're sitting at home, fine, they're staying safe at the same time because of this online learning process, fine. After attending their classes, they have got with ample amount of time that they can go for joining any, cross-disciplinary course from any of the online teaching learning websites or online teaching platforms which is available. Fine. And this learning experience can occur at local, national, or international level, and it can be enriched by increased interaction and engagement, peer-to-peer feedback, and group work skills. And with respect to, this COVID-19 outbreak, this hard phase through which this whole world is passing through, this online teaching or online learning process via digital learning management systems, via content management systems, via communication tools and e-learning platforms, it's playing a very crucial role, very significant role. Various softwares, meeting applications, they're helping learners to provide learning providers and learners to manage, plan, deliver, track the learning and teaching process. In addition to whatever you're learning in your online classroom, you can join any communication skills course, you can join any other multilingual course, you can learn any other foreign language at the same time, right? You can enhance your skills, enhance your interpersonal skills, you can enhance your communication skills, you can enhance your technical skills because of these online learning and teaching processes. Now, what's the challenge? One, and the n number of challenges. I'll be discussing few of them. One, the first challenge which and which learners are facing because of in this online the vast number of Indian population is staying in rural areas, whether they have access to good net bandwidth, whether they have access to smartphones, mobile devices, whether they can attend their classes, online classrooms, or online courses in streamlined manner. Now, see, this COVID phase, fine, has posed a huge question, a huge challenge to our Indian education system that we need to transform our Indian education system. Network, good amount of network bandwidth, network resources, fine, and this online classrooms, they have become need of an hour. Large amount of time consuming resources are required in the case of online learning and teaching activities. Many times, what happens is instructors and learners, they set online learning activities and they forget online learning activities also. Because established in face-to-face rooms, that okay, Indian teachers or students are the problem of us. They are feeling that they have learning from better and so they're getting demotivated. So one of the biggest challenges which this online learning and teaching process is facing is lack of motivation. Fine. We should try to give our students plentiful support, always on hand support, so that they feel they are associated, they feel they are motivated all the time. Fine. We should provide students with clear and measurable set of goals so that they remain motivated. Fine. Rather than giving them an open-ended task and leaving them to perform it, No, we should not do like that. We should be allocating a fixed time constraint. Okay, students have to perform this particular task in this particular amount of time, right? And the outcome of that task should be measurable or quantifiable, right? And the students should feel that okay, they have actually achieved, performed something, because it's human nature. A human being always feels good if he or she actually has achieved something in their life. That is actually the motivated. That is actually which always us on and keeps us going. Then accountability always towards what students, a due date should be assigned to the students, fine. And we can also teachers, I mean online, during this online teaching learning processes, we can consider some gamified apps or some programs to increase motivation, probably in our younger generation, in school going students, fine. And so that they independently can interact with the teachers in this interactive environment. And I mean they feel motivated. I mean, the whole crux and the moral of the story is they should feel motivated. Now, next, in addition to whatever instructors are doing, it becomes the responsibility of the parents also to motivate their kids, to motivate their wants, so that they remain at pace, they remain at par with this online learning and teaching process. This is very often missed in the case of online learning and teaching process, because it's human tendency to get relaxed whenever we are given a relaxation. This is one of the biggest challenges which we people are facing. Now, the new form or the new transformation, new paradigm shift is blended learning. This is what is the need of an hour, or this is what is the future of learning. Blended learning is an approach to education in which combines traditional online education materials, fine, and opportunities for interaction online with traditional classroom methods. Clear? We'll be augmenting our online education materials and opportunities with traditional classroom-based methods. Whenever things are going to get better, students will be again joining their classrooms, face-to-face classrooms. Then the next, technique, next approach of learning which will be used is blended learning, because it requires a physical presence of both the teacher and the student, with some elements of student control over the time, place or pace. Now, in this particular case, the role of students or the learners will become equally active as compared to the guide or the supervisor. Students will be still attending their brick and mortar schools with teacher as present, following the same face-to-face classroom practices, but these practices, these activities will be combined with computer-mediated activities, course content and course delivery, for sharing the course content, for mediating as well. So this will be used. This will be, I mean, although this is already very much popular, but this will be used in a very popular manner in future for professional development and for providing, I mean, rather than having fully online or fully face-to-face, neglect of both of them, which is blended learning. Now, then, what solutions UNESCO has provided for online learning? What standards UNESCO has set in this hard time for online learning, so that students can take benefit of this online learning technique, and they can they can be fully aware of the course content at the same time. Various digital learning management systems which have been standardized by UNESCO in this COVID-19 phase, they are digital learning management systems such as Moodle, which is the open source digital learning management system. Google Classroom, I've already explained it. Docebo, which is a service offering a learning management system focusing on personal development. Blackboard, which is offering solutions, resources, tools to help deliver quality online teaching. Admodo, we have already discussed, which is a tool which is used by instructors to send messages, share class content, course content, and making learning for the students of their geographical location. Schooler, which is a system exclusively and fully integrated with Microsoft Office. Xtip, which is collection of literacy and numeracy learning resources, and it's a chance to create new ones. StudyD, it's designed to meet the need of adult learners. It's basically for aged people, and it's a very interactive app which can be used by people who want to get skilled in different areas. And uh, even if they are not having any basic type of technical education, they can use SLED for establishing, skills, for establishing what do you call businesses of their own, organizations of their own, by getting themselves skilled. They can become entrepreneurs. Then various communication tools which have been standardized by UNESCO for online learning process. They are Zoom, which is enabling video communication, video and audio conferencing, chat, video meetings and file storage. Then Google Hangouts and Meet is there, which enables text, voice, or video chats, either one-to-one or in a group. Then DingTalk is an audio and video conferencing system. Cisco WebEx, which we are using right now for this online webinar, is a platform for video conferencing face-to-face. Then for massive open online courses or MOOCs, what are various standard solutions which are provided by UNESCO? Canvas. Canvas is responsible for offering courses and classes aimed at professional and interpersonal development of educators. We can use it being in practice. Ellison, it's a self-paced course designed by subject experts with an interactive and enriched learning experiences. Coursera, which courses and specializations developed by a few of the best universities of the world. edX, it also delivers 2,000 online courses from 140 leading institutions worldwide, offering the chance to gain new skills. In India, we are using SWAM. The Internshala is offering so many internships to the students who are willing to learn online. SWAM is offering lots of online courses students who are actually willing to groom themselves online with various technical and interpersonal skills. FutureLearn delivers online courses aimed at further study, building professional skills, and connecting with experts. But right now, present here in this tried, which is offering a group there, which delivers training and educational programs via mobile learning service, with both collaboration and sharing of expertise between various European universities and providers on latest developments in online, open, and flexible education. So these are few of the standardized solutions which are offered by UNESCO for the purpose of online learning and teaching. So I finish with my today's talk. Thank you very much for listening to it in a patient manner, cooperating with me, and I would like to say in the end that all of you please stay home, stay safe, and stay hopeful, so that we can again rejoin our traditional classroom, so that we are again face-to-face interacting with each other. Let's stay hopeful for that, so that students are again getting groomed, they are again interacting with their friends. Fine. This university, our workplace is full of nature. I mean, full of people and full of positivity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Hajot, for such a valuable talk. And I am very hopeful that students must gain so much knowledge about online learning, the various platforms that we can use for online learning, learning management systems, and course management systems. So, participants, if you have any question or any query you want to ask from Dr. Hajot, you can write in the chat box. Okay, ma'am, I would like to know that yes, there are so many advantages of using the online learning platforms and online teaching and online learning. But I would like to know, we all know that there are many disadvantages also. So I would like to hear something about that also. That what are the various disadvantages we are feeling during these online teaching and learning process?
That's what, I was, explaining in the form of challenges. Students, they're trying to learn, but actually, many of the doubts which students they want to ask, they're not able to ask. Fine. Many of the doubts which students want to clear, they can clear. And they're getting demotivated day by day because this tradition learning. No doubt. I mean, we consider it an old practice. This is actually heart and soul of teaching learning process. Fine. When you're sitting in front of a teacher, you feel associated with another human life. Fine. You feel associated with another being. And you feel personally, that okay, you're getting personal attention of someone. Fine. So that demotivation is one of the advantages you can consider, you can think. And moreover, students. I mean, they are taking undue advantage of this, online learning techniques and online classroom techniques also. Sometimes on the and they're not sitting there. I mean, they switch off their camera during online classes going on, and they are not studying. They're not paying attention to what teacher is teaching. For me, demotivation. Fine. Then again, network resources are required in case of rural population who is staying in far off places. They are having not. I mean, access with network resources. I mean, they can be considering it as one of the problems to access the online classes. So these are few disadvantages in my view. Otherwise, n number of challenges they have. Students become leisurely. They feel very relaxed. Fine. That's a few disadvantages, but it offers many advantages as well.
Yes, and I think one of the most important disadvantages is that there is no discipline among the students when
Yeah, there's no
we are
discipline,
learning online.
and this
Yeah.
case, they just switch off their camera. They can switch off their mic, and we do not come to know
Yes,
whether
yes,
they are,
yes. Yes. So thank you, Dr. Harjot, for such a valuable talk and such an interesting session. So I thank you on behalf of all the organizing team and on behalf of all the participants. So we hope we will contact you again in the future for more interesting and valuable talks from your side. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
so much. Thank you.